Okay, so we're live on Facebook and YouTube. We got a new friend, beloved sister, Erah Light. I might have mispronounced that. She's going to join us in just a second. We're going to play our usual intro so we can allow people time to come in. And then we'll bring her up on screen and we'll get to know her in typical Soulogy fashion, just in front of all of our brothers and sisters. So be back in about a minute and a half. How's it going, everybody? This is our third and final show of the day. This is our third of 22 scheduled for the week. We're going to do about 25, maybe 26 shows this week. It's going to be a busy week. We're going to have a special day on the 8th, on Saturday. We're going to have some couples come on and talk about what's been going on from their perspective over the last few weeks. I want to say hello to so many of you who come and visit us every day in these shows. Denise Chadwick, hello. Pia Holland, Christina Love, Janine Krause-Ellert. Good evening to you, Sasha Grace, Dawn Ivy, and so many more. I want to just tell everybody, too, that we do appreciate your continued love and support and contributions. Because, you know, there's no way we could be doing this. There's no way at all. I mean, I don't know how it works out, but every month it works out and we're able to keep going. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of Soulogy and of Morgan and I. And I also want to tell you that we've got Leilani Soldierberg is now helping us with the scheduling. She's handling all the scheduling. And we've got Delia Flores, Delia from Outer Space, who's running the Instagram account, which we've never had before. So she's getting that up and running. So yeah, a lot of good things are happening. Let's get our new friend up here, Erah Light. Let's see. There you go. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
How are you?
I'm well.
It's a pleasure to meet you. It's a very mystical frequency you've got around you there. Yeah.
Thank you. It is such an honor to be on one of your amazing episodes. And, you know, you just started saying that how it is mystically and magically all unfolding. And I'll tell you, it's just because the intentions are in the right place and it is in the highest good of all. That's why it manifests its way in such a blessing and grace so smoothly.
That's a great summation of yeah, we're here in perfect synchronicity because I can already tell we're converging or merging in this moment because of, you know, things on my mind, and as I'm picking up your energy, I can tell we're going to have a nice conversation. Let me ask you, where are you located?
I live in Manali, Himachal Pradesh, India. I'm at the top of the Himalaya.
Oh,
and it's
wow.
4:30 a.m. my time, which
Oh
is
my
typical.
gosh.
Yes.
You look
It's,
like you've been up for hours. You look great. Did you just
thank
wake up?
you. No, I had an on and off sleep. We had a wonderful full moon meditation a
Mm,
few hours ago, and of course, the energy is so high, so I couldn't sleep well. And my little baby, my doggy, was so active because the full
yeah.
moon. There's so much happening. So yeah, I was up on and about, meditate a little bit, like before we started, and I
Mm,
wanted to really call upon my guys and
yes.
all the heavenly realm to be here and assist in tonight's energy transmission and sharing. And in that matter, actually, I pulled a card just to tune into the energy, which is part of my rituals. And the card is about rebirth. And this is what we are upon. With the wonderful energies during this lying gate, and we just had a powerful full moon. And yes, it is about the rebirth of this divine selves, which is in total harmony and balance. And I love what it said about the divine sun child, an eye in the moon, an eye in the sun, which is the ultimate feminine masculine balance within
Mm.
us as we are rebirthing and ascending. And the energies are so conducive and supportive. That's
Yes.
why I'm here, and it all happened in a just one message. And the beautiful Liliani helped a lot with all the messaging and setting up. Thank you
Yes.
very
Yeah. You came in right when we were making the transition, and I think I just sent you to her. Um, but yeah, this is, and then you pull that card. And last night when I went to bed, every night when we go to bed, my wife and I put our hands together, as we've demonstrated many times, and then we see what happens. But last night, she was feeding and calming a wild cat that we had caught, so we could help it. And so I was in the bed by myself, and I was just, I told her I'm going to go lay down, and all these golden beings came into the room, which
much.
that card reminded me of. As soon as I saw that card, I was like, oh my God, that looks like what I was looking at last night. But yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with what you're saying. It's all about intentions. It's all about, alignment, merging our free will with universal will, however you want to put it, however you want to explain it. Because whatever's going on out there, we just went to the store, people are walking around. I'm not pro mask or against mask or anything. Everyone has their own choice. But there is something weird happening. There's like this mass uh, hypnosis or something, and yet there is a strong minority of people like yourself who are getting it done on an individual level many times without anybody even noticing them. But they are affecting this earth grid, and we are having a huge conscious expansion. Uh, and in time, we're going to be able to minimize the hypnotism on our brothers and sisters, as we
Exactly.
honor their journeys. Yes.
I just support you on that. A matter of fact, that I have been, for the very few times that I managed to go into the market where I'm supposed to wear a mask, and I never wore a mask. And as if I'm an invisible being, because that time when I stood my ground and I told the police officer, I'm not going to buy into this. And I walked away. And I just stood my ground within myself. And this is what I've been contemplating since yesterday, how my journey had really shifted and accelerated, because I stood my ground, I said my word, and I was so much with conviction within myself. And that's
Yeah.
what brought me into alignment and kept me into that beautiful sacred space of mine. And the universe been supporting so beautifully.
Yes, it does. And I don't get too controversial. I used to get a little bit radical. We're in 2,000 shows now, and I've calmed down a lot. Thank you, Morgan Lee, for helping me to tame my wildness. But I just watched a little clip of a show of a friend of mine, Laura Eisenhower. She's doing a show weekly with David Rodriguez, the former professional boxer. And they had David Icke on, who I have a tremendous amount of respect for. I mean, I think David Icke has has contributed to many, many, I would say millions of people's awakenings at one stage or another. And I listened to a little bit of the conversation. I thought, well, what's going on in my head? Like, what is the problem here? What am I trying to say? What do I need to say? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? How do I want to serve the collective? And I was like, you know, to me, there's the conspiracy and disclosure dialogue and narrative that we've all been privy to that helped us awake, help us to understand that some things that we were presented to us weren't true. But at some point, we have a choice to either continue to talk about these things and talk about who's out to get us and these evil doers and whatever, or we can talk about the individual conscious expansion and awakening that when it occurs in an individual, it directly affects the earth grid and even the universal. This isn't just an earth ascension. This is not just a solar system ascension or a galaxy ascension. This is a one end to the other, one infinite end to the other infinite end of this endless universe, multiverse. We are affecting it in all of its entirety. And I'm ready to stand with people like you and not defy, not be in defense, just to stand in our power, because our power will do all the work.
Exactly. When we stand in that inner power and be within ourselves so authentic to whatever comes through, believe me, we are making that immense change. And I live among the forest. I live among the tree. My communion with Gaia is so strong. And every day I go up walking barefoot in the forest, connecting deep my roots within the heart of Gaia. I receive the messages that are so heartwarming. And this universe wants us really to expand our consciousness on the personal level, individual level, because this is where we start, from that microcosm. Because as you said, the ripple is going to affect this whole multiverse. It's not like I don't buy into what's happening outside me and I'm sitting in a bubble, but yet still what's outside of me, it's the chatter. What matters is that inner chatter. And every time I just sit for meditation or I have a live show or something, or interview or something happening, I always set the intention, may my word come from that space of silence within, not from that space of chatter, because there's a lot that can influence us and we are prone to that. We've been groomed and conditioned to just fall easily. But it's so interesting how I am experiencing my multidimensional self lately. And that's what the expansion that I'm talking about. Like nothing goes unnoticed, not a single word that comes through, like comes into my mind or out of my mouth, a single feeling or emotion or notion or connection, whether with the animal kingdom, with the birds, with the trees, with the earth, with the light beings who come through. It is such a powerful time, Todd, for every individual to really step into their sovereignty.
Yes.
And claim it and just be in that power. Because I just always take myself an example, and I tell everybody, take it from me as it is my own experience. And it worked for me. It might work for you.
Yes.
But don't take it as it is yours. Just be with your own experience and allow it to just guide you through. And what has been happening for the past 5 months, actually, it's so magnificent. It is I've never experienced. I've been on my spiritual journey this whole entire lifetime, I do feel. And the acceleration of the human consciousness and the and tapping into those multidimensional selves of us, it's beyond what this tiny human mind can imagine.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Last week there was a period of about 10 days, and I was getting like all these different types of downloads, which we all do, and it's not abnormal. But there was something about what was being stated, and it was basically coming in as, look, there's the looking for the external solutions, looking for the evidence of change in the external, or love or hate or whatever, is it's no longer being supported by the universal energy. It's just not. It's not. It's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen out there to save us. It's just not going to happen. I mean,
Exactly.
I look at it this way. It doesn't take. It doesn't take just anybody. Pretty much any normal person can look at everything going on, and we can go right down the list, and it's just not believable. It just doesn't make sense. The mask is an energetic, an energetic statement being made. I mean, there's just all kinds of things pointing to it, which I think it's great. We designed all this so we could wake up. We designed all this so at some point we put our foot down and say, you know what, I'm going to stand in my sovereignty. And it's going to continue to grow. Because if I look at the world and I say to myself, are you going to tell me that there's not one person in a position of power, not a prime minister or a president or a senator or a priest or a bishop or whatever, that is not going to stand up? Why isn't one of them standing up and saying, hey, we are star seeds, we are indigos, we are eternal, we've had multidimensional lives, we've had multiple incarnations on this earth. Why isn't anybody talking about that? Not even the Dalai Lama's talking about it. And I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying that the truth is in the minority. And we are this minority. But we know that one soul, one human hybrid soul, affects this entire grid and can literally change the entire world. And now we're coming together. And this is exciting to me. And I guess I'm not frustrated, but I'm a little bit tired about talking about everything we know that's wrong. We are the power. We are both the mission and the prize.
Exactly. Right? And the coming together, it's happening. And it's happening because it is in the highest good of all. And it is just in synchronicity with this huge shift. And honestly, when I sent you a message, my intention was to just be part of your program, to just share my energy and medicine and healing, and part of me with the collective. And part of it, I wanted to put a word across for an incredible venture that just happened, magically manifested itself in such a beautiful way. Just because star seeds who are meant to make a change and bring a great change into this whole collective, they are coming together. I just a couple of weeks ago, I was in the forest meditating. I have a big, beautiful tree with a big womb, and I'm just sitting meditating, and the download comes. Put together a retreat. Call it this, the name, Todd. You can't believe the downloads that are coming, so precise, as if we are given instructions, a step-by-step instructions. And not only that, the time, the dates, the people in. And I came out of that tree and I was like shaken. I was like, how am I going to pull this together? And I'm sitting in that little cottage in the Himalaya, and I'm not sure if my internet is reliable. And I start doubting all of these. But that voice within me coming with conviction, you're going to put it together. It's not for you. You're a catalyst. You're just holding a space. We're working through you. We're assisting through you. Everybody from our galactic light family to Gaia, to all my guides, Archangel Samuel, who's hadn't left my side since this big awakening with his unconditional love pouring into this container. And I came home, meditated on that thought, and I acted immediately on that same night. I couldn't sleep. And that's what's been happening when you are chosen to be a catalyst, chosen to do the bidding of the divine. And it is in divine service, and it is in the highest good. And soon enough, within 3 days, the whole team of 15 wonderful cosmic healers came together. They heeded the call. I sent a small message, and most of them I don't know in person. They're Facebook friends or a friend of a friend. But they felt into it. They've resonated with it. And it just came beautifully. And we call it the Cosmic Activation Retreat.
Wow.
Because this is what we are seeding, a cosmic activation within our multidimensional self. And every healer in that retreat are bringing their medicine. And it's so beautiful, from embracing the inner child. Before the inner child, I just like out of the this grace of the divine. A wonderful lady came to work on the embryonic healing. Then we have an inner child healer. Then we have a beautiful lady channeling Saint Peter, and another beautiful lady channeling the Elohims, and a beautiful, wonderful. I can't tell you how ecstatically joyful I am about this whole thing coming together, and effortless. And that's when it is in divine design, and that's when it is in the highest good of all. And I would love to, send an invite to all our Facebook friends everywhere. It's an open invitation, and it's a free retreat. And I will share the link now in the comment so that everybody can tune into the energy with us. And the more of our light that comes together, the more we can spread that light. As you said, the power is in the minority. But this minority carries within its heart a powerful light.
That's right. Yes. And, we're two or more gather, and I love this. And I would encourage you to, we'll bring it up again before we close out at the end of the show, but I would definitely put the link up on my Facebook page on that live, and then on YouTube, Soulogy One Studios channel, because we're live on there too.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then send me a message too, if you would, after the show, so I can go look at it myself, and I'll work it through the network as well. This is a great idea. And look, and this is the thing, we cannot underestimate the power of one unique and equal soul, especially your own. And we're in a quantum field now. So everything's different. If you and I come together today, which we are, I've got chills going up and down my body, and I know you do too, because I can feel it. We're creating an integration. We're creating a vortex, a portal. We're creating a womb. This is creative energy by all the people that are watching now, by the people that will come back on the replay, because there's no linear. We cannot underestimate these occurrences. We cannot underestimate 15 people coming together in a relaxed flow, like you said, because part of what's happening, part of what we're starting to realize, we can't force anything. You can't have an agenda. You can't be serving yourself in the old sense, okay? To thine own self be true in the new sense, is the same thing as serving the collective. I can only love the universe as much as I love myself. And we're learning just how incredible we are, and therefore it is having an immediate simultaneous effect on our external collaborations, co-creations. And this is where we're at. So don't think, we had a group here about a month ago or 3 weeks ago, some ladies that had met through Soulogy that then formed their own group, the Cosmic Ladies Group or Cosmic Women's Group.
I watched them.
Yes.
I watched them.
So look at that. This is 6, 7 ladies from around the world who just come together on intuition, creativity, imagination, courage, and they come together, and you cannot underestimate the impact where 2 or more gather. Their gatherings, their integrations, their meetings have affected this entire world, and we just need to keep on moving with it. And I can promise you, I'm just going to say one last thing. You're not going to see stuff about this on the internet, on the Lightworker major venues. You're not in the traditional Lightworker venues. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just trying to make a point. We're not going to get the notoriety and the acclaim. There are women all over this world that for 10, 15, 20 years have been doing grid work, have been working in the energetic fields, have been channeling and downloading and sharing that information and being ridiculed if they got any notoriety at all. But you can't underestimate the power and the influence that they've had on our expansion. And now it's starting to grow at an exponential level because people like you are bringing people together. And I would encourage everybody to do the same thing.
Thank you. Those people who had come before us, they are the ancestors I call upon every day, because as the star seeds, as the light workers, as the truth workers, at this time of our ascension, whoever came before us, they might have struggled a lot to just get their energy across. They've done it on their personal way, but now it kind of is spread like a fragrance of a jasmine. And I, like it warms my heart when I wasn't kind of like too much involved on social media, but for 5 months it's been a journey, even being on social media and learning about it and being with people who are like-minded, and learning how everything works for us when we set the intention and be in that sacredness of being and be in it and embody it. And it brought across amazing people who are of the same energy, who resonate with that same frequency, and who are doing incredible work. And the young generation thought that I see that already awakened.
Mhm.
It's magnificent what's happening. I keep always reminding everybody we are heading to a very beautiful place. Stop whining on what you've missed, or you want the old ways back, or the only person you can just look back at is your old self and say, thank you, you've served me well. Now I'm moving. There's a beautiful self ahead of me that it's more of light and love, and it is so compassionate.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's happening, and it is happening with ease and flow.
Yes.
And this is the message that I always put across, and I always remind myself, it is, if it's coming from that space of the heart, and it is so easily aligned with the divine will and in its divine plan, and in the service of all, it will come through, and it will serve, and it will serve at all levels and dimension.
That's right, and that includes all aspects of our experience. The traditional aspects of our experience, such as education, such as finance, other cultural things. None of these things are they're all breaking down because the new energy will not support it. And I think probably the key element at this point is for this feminine energy to continue to hold its ground and expand its field and stand tall like it hasn't been able to for many, many thousands of years, out of fear of oppression and harm. This feminine energy that was suppressed in all of us, in me and every man and every woman, is coming back now. And this is what I feel you're referring to. You're talking about compassion, you're talking about collaboration, co-creation, no agenda, okay, nurturing, but you're also talking about the Kali energy. You're talking about the fire. You're talking about the no bullshit. I'm going to come here. I'm here to expand and grow. I'm not here to play games or tiptoe around issues. And that's why I think there's a little confusion, because there's a lot of fluffy love and light in these communities. And again, I'm not knocking anyone, but we can't. It's not like we're turning a blind eye. You're just saying, I'm not going to let this stuff over here attach to me anymore, just like I'm not going to let my old self identify me anymore. We are transformers. We can transform anything. We cannot divorce ourselves from any aspect of the universe. And if there's anything out there that makes you uncomfortable, my recommendation is go grab it, pull it into your heart, and you'll be amazed at what that co-creative, energetic equation will create. It will create something far greater than you and I could ever think of, just like you said at the top of the show.
Exactly. And what's happening, that when the energy doesn't resonate, you feel it deep inside, because that voice within us has become so loud that it is the only voice that we are able to, that we are tuning into. Like before, let's say, I can tell you a few years ago, there was so much chatter even within me, even being on a spiritual journey and doing my spiritual practices. There was still that pull between my egoic mind and my old self, and all the conditioning and all the patterns, and that voice that's still rising. But now I do feel that voice so loud and clear, and it's always bringing me back on the path. If it doesn't resonate, as you said, give it a hug.
Yeah.
And I would like to share a small vision I had a couple days ago, and how powerful we have become into seeing ourselves in all layers and dimension of our existence, and how we can benefit from just being a witness, a real witness. Like in yogic philosophy, they always advise you when you meditate, just be a witness. But what does it mean to be a witness? Not only watching the breath or just watching the thought, is just watching these layers and dimension of yourself, whether you're asleep, whether you're awake, whether you're cooking, whether you're eating. So there's always this watcher over you, which is you also, that is making sense of every experience, because we come to realize how magnificent is this existence.
That's
so
right.
A few days ago, early in the morning, I had this incredible vision, which is lately I'm learning to stay with my guides, especially when they come in the vision and the dream realm, and stay with the guide till the end of it. Like before, I used to have this fear of just going along, or the fear of letting go, but something within me opened up, more of surrender happened. And I was following my guides into this whole journey that I was going through. And I was taken into a dark place where I've seen a version of myself that looked so scary, maybe like a wolf-like, but it was chained and in the darkness. And when I came face to face with that being, I saw myself in its face. I saw my eyes. And when it spoke to me, even that darkness within us had compassion for us. Like, so that aspect of me, it was so compassionately talking about the release and the surrender of that darkness within, because we've lived in duality for so long that there are hidden and repressed aspects of ourselves that we never wanted to deal with, that we denied, that we chained in the darkness, that we felt like, oh no, my ego doesn't want me to go there. I'm a goody person. But there are aspects of us, which is still us, that requires our compassionate release, our compassionate attention at this time. So that darkness of mine had asked me to release myself and to release it with compassion, because the time has come to see myself and all layers of me, even the darker ones, that for lifetimes I've repressed. So that was the most powerful revelation for me since this whole Lion Gate energy started, and tuning into it. You won't believe, since that vision and 4 days after, it's been so painful, and so much of release and layers that have been shed back to the light, and feeling the expansion within my heart, and feeling the love that it's growing further and further within me. So that's when we embrace that aspect of us.
Yes, I agree with that.
Spirituality is not bypassing who we are. It's not bypassing the mind or the emotions. I always remind my women, I also have a women group that's private, and very beautiful women just come there to share. Every day I remind them, have you checked with yourself? How do you feel today? Check with the feelings. They are your way, because we're going to feel through this higher mind. And that's what I call the Nerika, the heart portal. And Nerika is an ancient language in shamanism, and especially from South America. And it means the heart. And the heart, not the actual heart or the heart chakra in the sense of anahata. It's the higher heart, the higher mind, actually, which is the connection to all of the creation through that compassionate love.
Yes. Yeah. That's a that's a mic drop right there. No, but that, I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's, on one hand, it's, people talked about a great divide. A lot of people prophesized or foretold that there would be a great divide. In fact, it's been written for 2,000 years in many sacred books. Mm-hmm. But I don't, I think we all had this conception from our human mind that it would be these people over here and these people over here, like, the black and the white, or the right and the wrong, or, just separation. But it's actually here, isn't it? We're actually, that voice that you're talking about is actually taking us down on every level from that multi-dimensional perspective, and looking at everything as that watcher, as that witness. And what's happening, in my opinion, is we're being asked to walk the talk, period.
Exactly.
And yes, and here's the thing. In the 3D, you could measure things by how much money did you have, how many likes did you get, how many viewers do you have. You know, there's all these different types of measurements. But in this new Earth, 5D, whatever you want to call it, there is none of that. There's no competition, so there's no need for measurement. You know, it's like we do these things because it's righteous. We do these things because that voice is loud, because that, and here's the other thing, when we don't do it, we hear from the universe real quick now. It comes real quick and it comes real hard. But here's the thing, the great thing about it is when we do and walk forward with conscious intention to align with universal will and to walk the talk of the transmissions, downloads, and channelings that we receive, then we're getting immediate reciprocation. And it's not the old math. It's a new exponential growth type of equation. You know, so you bring together 15 people in the old paradigm, and you're going to get a certain level of results. But you bring 15 people together now, like you're doing, who have no agenda, who are there to serve the collective. The universe is behind you, and I can promise you that the number on the other side of the equal sign at the end of the equation is far greater than anything 15 people could have done together in the old paradigm because of all the conditioning, restrictions, agendas, patterns, and behaviors that we have. Yeah.
It all boils down to intention, Todd. You know, and the more intentional we become, especially now, the more we connect to our guides, the more our channels are open to receive them, the more we are acting on the call, the more we are becoming the talk, the more we are becoming and embodying this divine self we are. And embodiment is a lot happening these days, and there's a lot of talks about it, but it is experienced, it is felt.
Yes.
It is felt. And it starts from acknowledging. You cannot just say, I'm embodying my divine self and just sitting on it. You have to do the work. You have to acknowledge that I am a divine being. This is the first thing you tell yourself. And this is what I call actually the simple acts of kindness toward myself. And I do remind myself every day. And those acts of kindness is my reminder to myself that I am this. If I say I am light, I am waiting for the universe to put me through a series of experiences to embody that I am light. So between acknowledgement and embodying, there's a full spectrum of experiences. And basically those experiences are the old coming up back to you in your face to face with you, to just test your faith in this process, to test your strength from the within. And it's so powerful that every time that you stick your ground and you roar that lioness roar inside, or that lion roar from the inside, the embodiment becomes faster.
Yes. And you're right. And you're right about that, because you do get initiated again. You know, you know, how many of us have gone through different depressions or downward spirals or whatever, and we come out on the other side. And we've all talked about this. This year, we're going through these things faster. We're bouncing back faster. They're coming in more frequently. They're bigger when they come in. But when if we have the intention to be light, the universe is going to bring us initiations and indoctrinations to take us to that place. You know, and you're right. You have to do the work. And this is where the fluffy love and light goes away. This is where the Kali energy steps in. This is where that aspect of yourself that you saw in the vision steps in. This is where the darkness in me that I've met many times steps in. You know, if you have an aspect of yourself or a friend or a pet or a relative or whatever, and you leave them over there energetically in the corner in a dark space, and you don't give them attention, what do you think's going to happen to them? They're just going to get more and more enhanced with whatever emotion they're feeling, which is anger or sadness or whatever the case is. Oneness doesn't have any exceptions at all. There's either oneness or you're either unity consciousness or you're separation. There's no in between. You can't say I am that and I'm not that over there, or that girl over there, that guy over there, or that I'm not those things, but I'm everything else. That's not how the universe works. And honestly, you said it earlier about being chosen, and I agree with you. But I think that every single one of us here earned the right to come. We earn the right to come because I think there's millions and millions, if not billions, of souls lined up to come to the earth for this opportunity and this level of expansion that's offered in this duality. And I think we're doing a great job, and I say it every day, but I think we're doing a fantastic job, and we just need to keep going.
Thank you very much for this great opportunity, and what you put together is magnificent, and it is definitely creating a wonderful change for the collective. And what I meant that we are chosen, I don't mean on an individual level. It is an open invitation for all of the souls who are ready to step in their sovereignty. Yeah. Then they are the chosen one. It's not like Todd or Erah or X or Y of the people are the chosen. Just Todd and Erah had stepped into their power, and they've claimed that sovereignty, and they've listened to that voice, and they've heeded the call. That's why they have been given assignment to spread that light and work with it. And I know the universe is all about grace, and it's we are all the children of this great cosmic mother, father, God, and each child is of equal right, and each child is loved.
Yeah. There's a question here.
Yes, please.
It's got both our names on it, but it's for you. I like to make jokes, I hope you don't mind. So this is from our friend Shivoham.
Sure.
Forgive me if I pronounce it wrong. He says, how do you suggest we can manifest oneness in the physical world in our day-to-day actions? Like moment by moment.
Moment by moment.
Yeah.
It's just when we deep inside at peace within ourselves, like when we are in communion with ourselves, when we are in oneness with all aspects of our being, that will reflect on the outside. The outside is just that outside chatter. It will affect us in a way or the other, because I know my dear friend Shivoham, he is in the real world, and he's surrounded all by still that chaotic energy out there, even though he's such a great, well-aligned and balanced being. And I know that we have talked about this aspect many times, that we're going to reach that in oneness within. In oneness, what I mean, alignment between our body and mind and spirit and consciousness and our guides, everything that is us within, total in alignment, total trust, then it will reflect on the outside world. The outside may not take it. I've been named names, Todd. I've been pointed fingers at, and like everybody thinks of me as this crazy one who just left life, left everything behind, a good job, a marriage, family, and just left to live in the mountains.
Well,
but this
welcome,
is my
welcome to the community. Welcome to Soulogy, because everyone here pretty much is the same story. This is where all the crazy people hang out.
Exactly, because when you know that you have to step out of the chaos to create some order within, so that you can bring that order on a larger scale.
That's right.
And align to the divine order, because out of this chaos we see outside, it's just still an outside chatter.
That's right. And if you look at your story or my story, and like, I'm not kidding, most of the people that are listening here, most everyone I talk to, they made a radical change in their lives. They made a radical change in their lives. Sometimes it was by their choice. Sometimes it was a situation they were put into, or whatever. But think about the number of people that on or about 2012 some years before, some years after. Think about all the people that have made a radical change, and why. Because that voice, that aspect of their higher self, whatever you want to call it, the you, me, we, and it, the universe, whatever, they followed it. They followed it, and they were called crazy, and they left marriages, and they left jobs, and they left homes, they left money, they left possessions, they left all kinds of stuff behind. Why do these people do this? And why is it happening now? There's something very, very, very special going on in this time right now, in this place that we're in. There's something very, very special. And I think it's also a very good time to remember that everyone that showed up here didn't just come here by chance. They had an input to what their experience would be. Okay? Everybody here has chosen their path, so to speak, or at least the template, and it's a very special time. And as the days go by this year, even with all the fluctuations and extremes of 2020, it's just getting really exciting. I just think it's going to be a totally different world by the end of the year. I really do. I think it's going to be.
Looking forward.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward. This whole shift that started since 2012 is just to prepare us to this moment. Yeah. Those years of diving deep in that suffering and coming out of it and shining the light. It's to for whoever chose to be part of this wave, is to prepare us to this moment, to be to hold that torch, to hold that light for the new wave that's going to come. As we said earlier, there were our ancestors who paved the way for us, and us now going to pave the wave. The way for the new wave of souls who are ready to step into their powers. So it's such a beautiful place to be at now. And just a friend of mine was asking me yesterday, how do you see this whole thing's happening? Will it end with 2020 and, we will see this enlightenment? And I said, you never know. Maybe you'll see it in your next lifetime. And she was shocked because people are expecting to see the change now. It is just because time is irrelevant.
That's right.
For me, it's just like being in this now and just stay in that alignment and be with it, be with the feeling, be with that guidance, be with that channeling, be in that moment. We be with the pain if it comes. So what comes later will come later.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, and I think being present is also something the Universal Interviews emphasizing now. And because look, I often say this to myself over the years. I'll say, what do you really know? Like, regardless of what divine episodes you've had, or epiphanies, or revelations, or whatever your experiences have been, whatever you've read or heard, what do you really know? You don't really know anything. Like, how do I really know that when this physical body expires, how do I know it's going to happen? How do I really know? But what I do know is that I'm alive. And if you take away you can take away anything else from me, and I'm still here. But that's the one thing that we wouldn't even be talking. Life is the gift. That's it. And in this moment, in this spontaneous moment, this is where the power is. The power is following that guidance and doing it like you got the other day. You were told, here's the name of the event, here's what you need to do. You went over and did it. And I'm sure your human was going, well, what about this and what about that? And you just send out the invites or whatever. Now you got 15 incredible healers, souls coming together to expand this realm. I mean, it's changed so rapidly, and on one hand, it's simple. It's not easy because we're conditioned for it to be complicated, and there's got to be all these things we got to do. But it's actually a pretty simple thing. We're moving into a simple, a more fluid and simple way of being, it just seems a little complicated because we're not used to it. We're not used to being rewarded instantly. You know, we're not used to getting answers instantly when we appeal to the heavens, you know, and we're not used to it, but it's a normal thing.
Exactly. This is what I've heard from one of the beautiful sisters who've taken a course with me. I teach this course on sacredness. I call it the sacredness of being. And one day we were just like putting a promo video about it, and I called upon the former participant, and that beautiful lady said, "It's in simplicity of the act, in the simplicity of the rituals, and the simplicity of the." The simplicity of things that we can make a change, and they can happen very subtly. As we said, we are used to gigantic shifts, and we want things and we want them now, but it doesn't work like this with the universe. The universe is just about subtleness, about that very gentle approach to life. And I have this course coming up in August 23rd till the 27th, and I will share the detail of it. It's a 5 days online course about how to create sacredness in your life, because what got me to where I am right now is that aspect of sacredness. And I did not know how it is and what it is. I was just doing it intuitively, from setting up my altar to living my life, to my cooking, my gardening, and how life goes on in its simplest form. And then one day, this friend of mine was, oh my God, everything you do, Erah, has the sacredness to it. And that's again, the download came. And the whole course came together, and I took actions on it. And I teach it every other month. And it's creating great changes in the participant's life, because, as I said, it's very simple, it's very subtle. And the more you do it, the more you embody it.
Yeah. I got to ask you, because I'm looking out the window. Did you say you're on the top of the Himalayas?
Our village is pretty high. I don't know the height, but it's pretty high. We are surrounded by the Himalayas.
So is it snowing there now?
No snow. It's just it's dawn.
It looks like you're living inside of a tree.
And the tree is just outside my window. And there is a temple just outside my window. And it's a very powerful space where a lot of beings of light come to hang around every night.
Let's talk about that. Yes. Because I don't want to run out of time, but I want to ask you too, I want to ask you a couple questions, but after that, if there's something you would like to do, if there's anything you would like to do, an activation, a blessing, light language, if you want to sing and dance, whatever you want to do will be great.
Absolutely. I'm ready.
Let me ask you this, just a day in the life, okay? You've made this dramatic change like so many. You followed the inner guidance, you left, you're living in a tree, and you've got all these magical beings and going on around you. I can see the energy there. It's incredible. Who are your visitors? Who are you talking about? And what happens over there?
The energy around the place is powerfully dominating by the goddess, the Hadimba Mata. They call her the goddess. And for me, I didn't personally encounter her, but I do feel into her presence, because I believe when I came into this place, I kept asking myself, why am I here? And it's just to anchor that feminine energy within me and to anchor the grid here, because not out of judgment, but the living condition and the souls living in this area, they are still so primitive souls. So energetically, they are not that advanced in their consciousness. So for me to just be here, I do feel all the time as a catalyst for the energy, to anchor it further and to work with the energies around. So there's also a local deity just in the temple outside my house. And often, especially on full moon, there are some light beings coming. There's like, we do see these, what do you call them? Like a portal opening.
Now, do other people see them with you, or do you see it by yourself?
No, the people they say, oh, the energy is good. It's the deity protecting us.
Mm-hmm.
It's me and my dog, and she usually comes to the window and she just stands and freezes, and sometimes she makes these whiny sounds and she calls me in, and we both come and then sit like around this time, or like 4 a.m. So usually in the time you said you're up and about, it's something that happens most of the time for us when we come and sit and we outside, and I just, with my heart, I talk to them. Sometimes I receive messages after I go to bed. Sometimes the messages come later. And there's a strong light presence in these forests and in these mountains. And, and the practices around these temples is shamanic. So when they start with the drumming and calling up the spirits, sometimes that powerful energy knock off my windows open.
Wow.
And wakes me up. And all I do is
what a special place. Yeah.
It is odd. I was drawn here into that little village in front of this particular house, and it was a moment of deja vu for me. Yeah. And I kept insisting, I want this house with the blue windows. And I made a fuss that day, so the landlady will give it to me. And we've been here, and it's been holding an incredible space for me, for my spiritual growth, for my healing work, for every being who had come and stayed in this place, or even sometime, because now nobody can come, we've been doing these online meditations and channeling. So people
even over there, even up in the mountains, there's restrictions.
Yes, of course.
Wow.
But thankfully, we are just like on the safe side, but restriction is there. The borders are closed, so coming and going, it's not that easy, but still it's a blessing. It's such an incredible
absolutely blessing. It's all a blessing, and I'm not saying that as a cliche, but it is a blessing. It is a blessing. I mean, there's something about everybody having to stay put. I mean, energetically, what does that mean? Be present. Think about things. So it's definitely a blessing. Do you want to do anything with our brothers and sisters?
I would love to. Okay. I'm initiated in sound healing and in sound language as well. So let's see what comes up. Beloved child of the light, you are held, you are loved. Leave, we are holding you today. We are holding space for you. You are divine, sovereign being. Claim your sovereignty. Powerful message from our Lyrian Council of Light, the White Lions, opening the portal of the Lion Gate, showering us with light codes of transformation. Now is the now to transmute all that of lower frequency energy that doesn't serve us. Open, surrender, and we are here for you. Ne erre ewe ene ene re ne. Gaia is assisting with her unconditional love. Anchor this love in your heart. Ne ye erre ene ne ye ene. Beloved child, you are bound for great happiness. Shine your light. Shine your light. Shine your light.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So it is, yes.
So it is. So it is. So it is.
I was going to ask you, and then before I asked you, you said it, Lyrians.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's,
they,
you know, and I don't know any, you know, we after 3 years, actually, a place found us to live, you know, we have a place. And so it's in Arkansas, which is, you know, very natural setting. And we have a natural setting at the back of the house. There's a lot of nature beings and stuff. But what I've noticed since I've been here for the last few weeks, there's a lot of feline, a lot of Lyrian energy. I keep, you know, at times I'll see a bunch of, you know, different types of big cats, you know, panthers and leopards and tigers and lions. And maybe it's because of the Lionsgate, but what are your thoughts on that?
It's all in synchronicity. Just to guide us to that energy, to tap into it, and we attract them.
Yeah.
We attract every experience. We attract every being to be in our presence. I know our time is about to finish. I would love to send a dedication to my 15 cosmic healers, and because they are a big part of this incredible retreat, and I would love to give gratitude to them.
Yes.
And yes, this is, I'm just pulling out the chart. So we are starting off on August 8th with an opening ceremony with all of us coming together, bringing our magic and our healing. On the second day, I'm opening up with a Nerika activation and light language meditation. And I have a wonderful brother, Daniel Beavington, with masculine and feminine dynamic and sacred sexuality topic. On the third day, Urmila Rao coming with forgiveness meditation, tapping into the forgiveness energy and frequency. Then Donna Esteban embodying our feminine energy cycles, working with the feminine dynamism. Mike, you will be talking about the abundance as a light worker, how to attract abundance as a light worker, and all his answers from the astral travels. I think Mike Yip Fong Yu was with you.
Oh, I know him. I like him. I had him on about 2-3 weeks ago. We're supposed to actually get on again, and his partner and him were going to come on, and she was going to come on separately.
She's an incredible being, and she's also with us. On day 4, Sophia will be activating the liquid light body. Denise Devlin, meditation with Saint Peter. Sarah Yahya, how to become a lightpreneur and living in balance and abundance, because money is a big issue for us light workers, and to understand it from a conscious perspective is very important. On day 5, Mukades Koshak will be doing some yoga flow with mindful meditation. Harikirtan Kaur, also she was with you on the show.
Oh yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah. Yes, and she will be offering a light language and anchoring of the soul activation. Ariana and Igor with their singing freedom and activating the throat chakra and that inner voice. On day 6, I have Anahata Meher, a shaman woman, a medicine woman, and she will be given a session on embracing the inner child. Sue Wegdi will offer a breath work, and she calls it connection to the self, and she will guide us through that to create that bridge, to open up that bridge. And on the last day, We have a sound mandala healing with Eva Kerr, and we are closing the ceremony with Bridget, a wonderful light language channeler, and she will channel the Elohims for us.
Wow.
I'm very, very blessed with their presence.
Wow.
And yes.
Did you need anybody to do any conscious rap? You know?
That would be wonderful. Most welcome. Most welcome.
So now, where are you from originally? Are you originally from?
Yeah, I am from Lebanon.
Oh, there we
I'm
go.
Lebanese. Yeah.
So my family, my grandfather was Lebanese. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So his grandparents immigrated from Lebanon to Mexico City. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they used to call
I have lived in the U.S. for like almost 10 years.
Oh yeah.
I was living in San Francisco.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Very cool. So I'm going to reach out to you. I'm going to get some information, or can you send me the information on Messenger?
Exactly. I will do that.
Yeah. Can you do that? Yeah, I'm going to look you up on here in a minute. And yeah, if you could send me that information, I want to look into it a little bit, and then I'll reach out to you, soon, in the next few days.
Thank you so much for this great opportunity. And yes, we are where we needed to be, at the right place at the right time. We're doing the right work.
That's right.
And we are so blessed, and we are supported, and we are held. And I'm very, very grateful to you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I would love to collaborate with you later on in the year again, too, if you're open.
Exactly. I'm looking forward.
Okay. You take care. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye-bye. Have a nice evening.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.